Today, I'm gonna be sharing with you my most recent Azure grocery haul, plus my 5 biggest mistakes I have personally made when ordering from Azure Standard, in hopes that it can help keep you from making those same mistakes. Plus, at the end of this video, I'm gonna be sharing with you how you can have a chance to win $200 to Azure Standard. $200 plus every person that enters is going to get a special bonus just for entering. You are not gonna wanna miss this.
Welcome to the From Scratch Farmhouse. Come learn with us.
Hi, I'm Stacy from the From Scratch Farmhouse, where I share our family's journey to ditching the grocery store and becoming more self-sufficient. In order to help us reach that goal of no longer shopping at our local grocery store, we're attempting to produce and grow as much as we can here on our homestead. There are 3 other places, however, that we purchase items that we either cannot or choose not to grow, raise, or produce here on our farm. The first one is Young Living, where we purchase things like personal care, bug spray, sunscreen, and essential oils. The second place is Amazon. This is where we purchase things like toilet paper or miscellaneous things that come up that we need. The third place is Azure Standard. This is where we get the bulk of our food and supplies that we do not grow or raise ourselves. If you are completely new to Azure Standard, I'm gonna leave a link above and below to a video that tells you all about Azure, how it works, my experience with it, and all of the details that you need to know. Okay, today I'm gonna start by sharing with you my most recent Azure grocery haul. If, however, you are just looking for those 5 big mistakes that I don't want you to make as well, or more information on the giveaway, I'm gonna put timestamps in the description so that you can skip ahead. So this is what I got this time. Now keep in mind, I don't get the same things every time. I rotate as things are needed. And the way that I track what I need is called a household inventory. I have a whole video on how I create a household inventory, and I will leave that above and below as well. And if that piques your interest, you're gonna wanna wait for that bonus, because let's just say it's gonna help you with this whole process and keeping it all straight. Okay, so let's get started. The first thing we purchased this go around is coconut aminos. Coconut aminos is a soy alternative to soy sauce. It tastes great. It actually tastes very similar to soy sauce. And the reason we made the switch was initially because I have a daughter that was allergic to soy when she was younger. But now that I've done more research on soy, I'm just more comfortable staying away from most soy products. So coconut aminos it is. The second thing I purchased is Thai peanut sauce. We enjoy Thai food. We like making pad Thai. So this is definitely an ingredient that we like having around. Third thing here is date syrup. Okay, I have actually never purchased date syrup. This is a product that is new to me and I'm excited to try it out. We do use medjool dates in order to sweeten things, but I just thought since my body tolerates date sugar pretty well, I thought maybe I would give the syrup a try. Next up, we have vanilla extract. Now, as many of you know, I have made my own extract and I actually do have a video on how to do it yourself, but it does take a while to age. So while we're waiting for those batches to age, we purchase it in bulk from Azure. We go through a ton and I like that I can buy it in pretty big quantities. I've actually purchased it in even bigger quantities than this, which the more you buy, the better the price. So for now, I just thought I needed this much, but you can buy it by the gallon or more. Next up, we have poppy seeds. We love poppy seed muffins, and we also enjoy poppy seeds in a lot of our baked goods. Here we have honey. I actually purchased 2 types of honey. This one is orange blossom honey, which I have never tried. I'm excited to give it a shot, but our usual go-to is this berry wildflower honey, and you can see that we have already broke into this. We go through it pretty quickly because we use it a lot in baking. We also purchase our honey locally, and actually this year we're going to be producing honey on the farm, so I'm really excited about that. So this is just to fill in the gaps, and since we go through so much, make up that difference between what we have been buying locally and what we use. Here we have white quinoa. I use quinoa in place of rice in our suppers. I also like to make like a quinoa mix for breakfasts. It's a good source of protein. My kids like it, so we go through a lot of quinoa. Here we have wild rice, another thing that we use in our dinners. And honestly, I usually use basmati rice, which I also purchase from Azure, but I want to switch over to wild rice more because I know it's something that we could actually go harvest locally and purchase locally. So I purchased this mostly to play around with it and see what all I can do with it. Here we have split peas. Usually use them in split pea soup. We don't go through them too much, but they're nice to have on hand. Okay, jam. I plan on making a ton of jam and jelly this year, but we do not have any of our own right now except for some dandelion jelly that I just made, and I will leave that link above and below because that is wonderful and we've been using that a lot lately. But if you don't have any home produced or locally sourced, this is a great brand. It tastes great. It doesn't have a ton of sugar in it. It's actually just the fruit. So it's the healthiest option I could find. And we really enjoy using this in like yogurt or on sandwiches. And they have different flavors. So this is raspberry, but we have often bought strawberry, blueberry, and other flavors. Okay, we also have medjool dates. This is actually a pretty tiny bag. Usually I will buy a larger quantity. I'm not sure if they were just out of the larger quantities or why I went with this small bag. This is 1 pound. Medjool dates, the biggest thing we use them for is we make our own Laura bars. So they're basically nuts, medjool dates, vanilla, chocolate chips, and that's it. So we just grind those all up in a food processor. If you'd like the recipe, I can give you that too. They're great for a quick snack. It takes just a few minutes in the food processor to make them. And then I will also use medjool dates to sweeten things like pumpkin pies or desserts. Okay, the non-food items that I purchased this time are mostly jars and lids. So let me show you because I absolutely love these. And I've showed these off before, but these are half-gallon jars. I've recently been recommending this size for sourdough starter. On my Instagram recently, I went through and helped people make their sourdough starters. That was so much fun, and it was so rewarding to see all of your starters come to life. But I have just found that this is a really good size. Now, I know there are plenty of people out there telling you to keep your starters in little tiny jars, but to me, that doesn't make sense because then you have to transfer your starter to another container in order to bulk it up and then use it. This I can keep exactly how much I need for a week's worth of baking. To me, this is perfect size for sourdough. But I also store things like this will be for split peas and a couple other things that I wanted to store in this size jar. I keep them in my pantry, in my regular pantry to store things, as well as my cellar downstairs. Just one thing to know with these is that the lids come separately. So make sure to order the lids. And then I received a whole bunch of lids here separately in another box. So they're not plastic either. They're metal lids. They go on securely. These are so handy to have. I have a ton of these containers. I also received some more gamma lids. These are the smaller ones. If you have not seen them before, they're awesome. You push them on securely onto the bucket and they're airtight. And then the top just unscrews. My little kids can even do this. And then it screws back on. Kind of hard when it's not on the bucket, but screws back on for an airtight seal. And we use these for buckets that we keep in both the pantry and the cellar downstairs. These would also be good for storing things like dog food, cat food, all those things. And like I said, you can get the bigger size for the regular 5-gallon pails, which is what we do as well. Okay, in this box over here, haven't even opened it yet, I have more of the 1-gallon jars. So same thing, I use these in my regular pantry up here. I use them in the cellar downstairs for food storage. These have so many uses. Shredded coconuts, rice. I also use these to store things like a smaller quantity of wheat berries. So for example, I have like 3 5-gallon buckets of hard white wheat downstairs. And then I'll have about this quantity kept up here, ready to go in my kitchen pantry. And if you want a cellar tour or more about how I store things long-term, I'll leave the video above and below so that you can check that out as well. Okay, I think that's it for this time. Now let's move on to the 5 biggest mistakes I have personally made when ordering from Azure Standard. And like I said, I don't want you to make these same mistakes, so you're gonna wanna hear these. Mistake number 1, only purchasing a few things. So let me explain. The way that Azure works is you put in your order online, it ships in a big truck to your drop point, then you show up at the drop point at a specific time that you meet the truck. You go and you help unload everything from the truck. So the way every drop point does it a little bit different, but the way that ours has been doing it is they put out all the last names, and then you get in a big line and you go around and you grab something off the truck, and then you go put it at the last name that it coordinates with. So at the end, after we've all gone around, all of the piles are made of everyone's stuff. So it's a little bit time consuming. I would say it takes between 20 and 30 minutes depending on the number of people that are showing up that time or the size of your drop. But it's not a quick thing, and it is time out of your day that you have to plan ahead for. And if you're like me, we drive actually an hour and a half to get to our drop point. So I have purchased just a few things, gone, put all the effort in, and then found out that out of the maybe 5 things that I ordered, only 1 of them actually shipped, or 2 of them actually shipped, and those 2 things weren't things that I really needed anyway. It was actually the other 3 that didn't end up shipping. So I don't mind planning my whole day around my Azure pickup. I don't mind helping unload the truck. But for me, it only makes sense if I can put in a large order at a time so that it is worth my time and effort, and I'm not bummed when I get there and only 1 of my things arrived. And actually, you do find out what shipped ahead of time. So I knew going to the drop point that only 1 thing shipped, or 2 or whatever it was, but I was bummed anyway because I knew I had to still go there to get my stuff, but it wasn't something that would have otherwise been worth the effort for me. So hopefully that makes sense. Make it worth it for yourself. Put in a larger order at a time. And if you're thinking, well, I don't need that much stuff, plan ahead. So maybe you're purchasing 6 months worth of stuff at a time, and then you don't need to go back for another 6 months. And to me, that makes way more sense than trying to do a few things at a time and then planning your whole day around for something that you maybe didn't need. Okay, this brings me to mistake number 2, ordering too far in advance and not checking inventory before your order ships. Now, being on the ball is usually a good thing, but in this case, it may actually hurt you. And that's because when you place your order through Azure, you are not reserving those items. And the quantity of available stock can change quite a bit if you put your order in, say, 3 weeks before your cutoff date. So a little Azure hack to make sure that that does not happen to you and to make sure that all of your items ship. Here you go. Ready for this? You're gonna want to remember this because it's gonna save you a lot of heartache when you go and realize that none of your stuff shipped because it was out of stock. Here's what you do. Up until your cutoff date, you're gonna add things to your cart like normal. So let's say you find that you're out of vanilla, or there's something on your household inventory sheet that is running low, and you can go ahead and put it in your cart. However, set a timer, an alarm, an appointment date in your phone a day before your cutoff date. Then you're gonna go in and you're gonna check everything in your cart to make sure that there is a large quantity available. So my little hack is to pick the quantity that there is the most availability for. Here's an example. Let's say I wanted 10 pounds of chocolate chips. And under the chocolate chips that I want to purchase, there is a 1 pound option, there's a 5 pound option, and there's a 10 pound option. I have selected the 10 pound option in my cart. However, when my alarm goes off a day before my cutoff date, I can look and see that, oh no, there's only 5 of the 10 pound bags of chocolate chips. No problem, because if you click on 5 pounds, there may be a large quantity of those. So if I click on 5 pounds and it says that there are 300 in stock of those, I can just select 2 5 pound bags and voila, my stuff ships. No stress. This has been such a great little hack to make sure that I get my stuff every single time. Okay, mistake number 3. I actually did this last time we picked up an order, and I thought I need to share this with the world. Okay, so mistake number 3 is not dressing for the weather. I have made this mistake so many times, I hate to even admit it. There have been times I have forgot to bring gloves and a hat when it was snowing. There have been times when I forgot a raincoat when it was raining, and you can't exactly ditch everybody else who's unloading this truck full of stuff just because you're miserable. So you end up just suffering through, and trust me, it is not pleasant. So keep in mind, you're going to be at your drop unloading everybody's stuff off the truck, not just yours, for 20 to 30 minutes, and this could vary depending on the size of your drop. but if you are dressed for the weather, you're gonna have a much more enjoyable experience. Mistake number 4, not keeping track of what you actually receive. Now, to my knowledge, I have always received everything I ordered. However, that's not really saying much because I don't really keep very good track of what I ordered, what shipped, and what I actually received. Azure Standard has wonderful customer service, and if there's anything on that list that they say shipped to you that doesn't show up when you go to your drop point, you can give Azure a call and they will make it right. However, you can't take advantage of this awesome customer service if you don't keep track. So from here on out, I'm going to be printing off the list that they email to you that says exactly what shipped, bringing it to the drop point when we're receiving our stuff, and have my kids mark off everything as we bring it to the car. This will make sure that I notice anything missing right away. Mistake number 5, not checking the sales flyer. Azure Standard puts out a monthly sales flyer, and when you buy things in bulk like we do, a little discount can go a long ways in helping you save on your groceries. You can access this sales flyer either online or you can add a hard copy to your order. I also like looking through their sales flyer because it will often talk about new products, and I'm continually amazed at the variety of things Azure sells, so that can be a good way to get new ideas of other things that you can purchase through them as well. Okay, I just remembered that I had a few more things in this order that I put in the freezer and forgot to show you, which I'm glad I thought to tell you about this because we're gonna just go ahead and make this mistake number 6. I purchased some frozen things and I live an hour and a half away. This might not be applicable to you, but if you have any drive at all, bring a cooler. I purchased these raspberries and I'm pretty sure that they were not a frozen raspberry clump when I purchased them, but they thawed a little bit in my car on the way home, and then when I refroze them, they were just a big raspberry block, which is gonna be a little difficult to use. So if you have any drive at all, or even if you just plan to make other stops after you pick up your Azure order, make sure to bring a cooler. One more thing I purchased and was in the freezer, so I forgot about, is hash browns. I love their hash browns. This is Southern style, so they're little cubes. Same kind of deal though, where they thawed a little bit, and then when I put them in the freezer, they're now one solid block. These will be a little easier than the raspberries to break apart, but I still wish I would have had that cooler. Okay, I have told you everything we've purchased. I have told you my 5, make that 6 biggest mistakes I have made purchasing from Azure. Now I am ready to announce my big giveaway. I am giving away a $200 gift card to Azure Standard. The giveaway starts right now, today, which is May 27th at 3 o'clock Central Standard Time. This giveaway is only sponsored by me along with Azure Standard. And if the $200 gift card isn't enough incentive to get you to enter, I've got a little bonus for every single person who enters this giveaway. So basically, you're all a winner. I am giving away my personal household inventory spreadsheet on Google Sheets so that you can see everything we purchase, exactly where we purchased, and I even have links to the products on this spreadsheet. I realize that our household inventory is not going to match up perfectly with yours. We purchase baby wipes and maybe you don't have a baby. However, it is going to give you an amazing framework for building your own household inventory, which I personally believe is the first step in becoming more self-sufficient, is having an idea of what you're purchasing, what you're using up, so that you can then work towards either producing it yourself or even just work towards a goal of maybe sourcing it from another location. In addition to that spreadsheet is a list of just the things we purchase from Azure Standard. So basically, I'm giving you all of my personal recommendations from someone who has been shopping from Azure for a very long time. Okay, it is super simple to enter, so don't pass it up. It'll literally take you less than 5 minutes. You need to do 4 things to enter this giveaway. Number 1, leave a comment on this video that says, I'm in. Number 2, hop on over to my Instagram at the From Scratch Farmhouse and give me a follow. Number 3, find the giveaway post and send it to your stories. Make sure to tag me so that I can see it. If you have a private account, you're going to need to DM me a screenshot so that I can see it, because otherwise, if you have a private account, I can't see that you put it in your stories. Number 4, Fill out the giveaway entry form, which is located in the description of this video, as well as the link in the bio on my Instagram. This is a quick and easy form. It just asks for your first name and your email address, and this is so that we can send you that bonus right away. It also allows us to give you updates on this giveaway and other fun things that we have going on. Okay, it's super easy to enter, but make sure you do not miss any of those 4 steps, because if you don't do all 4, you won't be entered to win. The giveaway is going to run until Sunday, June 6th at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. But don't wait, because if you're anything like me, you'll forget all about it. So go right now and enter to win the giveaway and claim your free bonus. If you're watching this video after the fact, don't worry, you're still gonna wanna go and follow me on Instagram and here on YouTube, because I love doing giveaways and fun things like this. So stay in the loop. You're not gonna wanna miss out on future things coming. Okay, before you forget, go enter right now, and thank you so much for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe so that you don't miss out on anything exciting going on here or my future content. I make videos each week on homesteading, homeschooling, food from scratch, and creating a handmade home. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day.